Bennie Safdie's The Smashing Machine doesn't know what it wants to be. Is it a biopic? Is it a sports movie? It fails at both, in my opinion. So let's talk about it. Hey, I'm Mike. I studied film, I work in TV, and I love movies. The Smashing Machine is written, directed, edited, and co-produced by Bennie Safdie. Safdie is best known for his collaboration with his older brother, Josh. Their first feature, Daddy Longlegs, was showcased in the Director's Fortnight at the 2009 Cannes Film Festival under the title Go Get Some Rosemary. Their next film, Heaven Knows What, premiered at the 71st Venice International Film Festival, and they followed that up with 2017's Good Time starring Robert Pattinson, which premiered at the Cannes Film Festival that year. Their biggest hit, though, was 2019's Uncut Gems starring Adam Sandler. The brothers then went on to create the Showtime series titled The Curse, a show in which they also starred in. For such a successful run, the Safdie brothers decided to divide and conquer, if you will, for their next projects. Older brother Josh Safdie is putting the finishing touches on his much-anticipated film Marty Supreme, starring Timothée Chalamet. In fact, I believe they narrowly finished it in time to screen at the New York Film Festival just this week. And Bennie Safdie is out now with The Smashing Machine, which is co-produced and stars Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, Emily Blunt, and MMA star Ryan Bader. We'll come back to that. The Smashing Machine is a biographical film about one of the pioneers of mixed martial arts, Mark Kerr. Initially, I was interested in seeing The Smashing Machine because of the utter transformation The Rock undergoes to become the centerpiece of this movie. Through the use of a wig and some prosthetics, he absolutely transforms into a different person. I've heard a lot of Oscar buzz for The Rock's performance here, and I'll just say this. The Rock is definitely showing us a side of him that he hasn't before, and for that, I give him a ton of credit. But we have to stop with the Oscar buzz when an actor undergoes a massive transformation for a role. He's good, but that's the job of an actor. His flaw, the flaw in the entire film, is that Mark Kerr is just such a nice guy, and movies are rarely made about nice guys. It's hard to hate him, and it's hard to love him. He's a sweetheart of a guy, but he's also addicted to either steroids or painkillers, probably both. When The Rock is on camera, he is just physically bigger than everyone else. I was wondering if it was a camera trick because he's just so massive. When he's driving or descending an escalator or just sitting on the couch, he's just enormous. The story follows Mark through his sobriety journey and his return to the developing sport of mixed martial arts. We also see his relationship with girlfriend Emily Blunt deteriorate. So let's talk about Emily Blunt for a second. Her talents are sorely underutilized in this film. You have an actress capable of handling a way more complicated role, and she's relegated to basically a piece of arm candy. Sure, she tries a couple times, but Kerr just ices her out. Their whole interaction is just strange to me. You'd think by this point of his career and their relationship, she'd understand that he needs to focus before a match, but that's one of the things they fight about. Half the time, we're not even sure why they're fighting. As I said, The Smashing Machine doesn't know if it wants to be a biopic or a sports movie. We don't really get the impression that Mark Kerr is anything more than a pioneer. He's just one of the first to participate in a new sport called mixed martial arts. What does Mark Kerr do to bring the sport to new heights? Nothing as far as I can tell. As a sports movie, it also fails. I've said this before, but to qualify as a good sports movie, you have to bring the audience in, give us a taste of the sport, explain a little of the strategy, make us feel like we're playing the game too. Some of my favorite sports movies are Bull Durham, Raging Bull, A League of Their Own, Creed, and Rocky. My hot take is I think Creed is a better film than Rocky. Chew on that in the comments. The Smashing Machine, unfortunately, fails as a sports movie too. I'm only tangentially aware of mixed martial arts as a sport, but this would have been a good opportunity to explain to the world why the sport developed and how Mark Kerr changed the face of MMA. Unfortunately, The Smashing Machine has a great title, pretty good performances, a great writer-director at the helm, but ultimately fell flat. What The Smashing Machine is a love letter to Mark Kerr. I just wish it would have brought us along for the ride. A couple of other notes about The Smashing Machine. It features Ryan Bader in a supporting role. Bader's an MMA fighter himself and delivers a fantastic performance as Mark's best friend, sometimes trainer, and potential opponent in the final match. The actual true story doesn't pan out to pit the two friends against each other, but I think the job of a filmmaker is to take a little license and change the story to fit a narrative. I sat in the theater wondering what would happen if these two men were matched up for the title. Both were asked at point blank by reporters that very same question, and both had very vanilla answers to it. But that's story. Story is conflict. A good screenwriter should always be asking themselves, what is the worst thing that could happen to my character in this scene? And the worst thing that could happen to such a nice guy like Mark Kerr is that he has to beat the shit out of his good friend. But for a film about conflict in the ring, it decidedly avoids conflict on the screen. Anyway, these are my thoughts on The Smashing Machine. I'd love to read your thoughts in the comments below. As always, film is about community. I'm Mike, and I love movies.